Hey everybody, this is Matthew Cook, and this is episode 86 of the Tactical Dad podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk some gun laws. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Matthew Cook, and this is episode 86 on the Tactical Dad podcast, and we're going to go into some gun laws. Now, let me just preface this by saying I am not an attorney. I am not in any way, shape, or form authorized to provide legal advice. This is not legal advice. I am simply a responsible gun owner trying to learn more about gun laws to become an even more responsible gun owner. I think if you own a firearm, it's important you understand the laws surrounding the firearm in your state. Now, firearm laws are different in every state, and you gotta do some digging to find out how they work, really. And I came across the constitutional carry. See, I'm in Georgia, so it's important that I understand the laws around guns and firearms in Georgia, because they're what are going to affect me most. So I came across constitutional carry, and I was like, what the heck does that mean? So constitutional carry is also known as unrestricted or permitless carry. Constitutional carry means that a permit is not required to carry or conceal the firearm, which seems wild. Like, I'm from England, so you can't have a gun over there. So being able to walk around with one seems wild to me. So when it comes to concealed carry, different states have different laws, so you got to do your due diligence and find out what your state is, because some allow for constitutional carry, some don't, some have different rules. So some states have laws explicitly written, and others sort of just imply constitutional carry. There are no laws against concealed carry without a permit. Now, that kind of takes us into stand your ground law. But before we get there, because that, depending on how long this podcast is, that might be a separate podcast. But in summary, if you live in Georgia, obviously this doesn't apply to anyone listening that's not living in Georgia, but you used to. And laws also, before I say the next thing, laws change all the time, so you got to keep up to date with it too. But Georgia is a shall issue state with concealed weapons licenses. So open carry in Georgia is legal. So I can have my holster on. I can carry my gun openly. I can carry legally in Georgia with a Georgia weapons carry license, WCL, or a concealed carry permit from a state that Georgia honors, because different states, depending on where you get your license, different states accept that license from that state. But you've got to double check that too, because there are some states that don't accept from other states. It's a mess. It's a wild mess sometimes, is what I'm finding anyway. Some areas are off limits when, let's say you do have the open carry weapons carry license. Some areas are off limits. As you can imagine, the first thing I thought of was, can anybody go into my daughter and son's school who isn't a police officer or an FBI agent or military or something? And no. Some areas are off limits, including schools, courthouses, and I imagine also government buildings. Because I often see, going to the post office, I see signs on the door and stuff that you can't carry a weapon in there. Open carry is not addressed in the constitutional carry bill that was signed into law actually back on April 12th, 2022. Concealed carry, because it's a different kind of carry, right? It's concealed, is legal for residents of Georgia. Now, I'm not a citizen yet, so I'm not. If anyone's listening to this that is and who has immigrated. If you're or who just isn't a citizen, not too sure of the details. You just have to go and look. But all this is available on different websites. So I'm literally just finding the information out there and relaying what I think is important to you. One, so I learn it more, and two, to document the whole process of what I'm going through. Concealed carry is legal for residents of Georgia with a license, with a weapons carry license. Any lawful weapons carrier and non-residents with a license permit issued by any other state is also accepted. You actually don't need to be trained. You don't need to be you don't need any firearm training to get a weapons carry license. Seems crazy, but that's what it is. You've got to be 21 years old, 18 for members of the military, to get a concealed carry license in Georgia. No license is needed to carry a handgun in a person's home, vehicle, place of business, while fishing or hunting or unloaded in a case. The city of Kennesaw has a law that was enacted in 1982. This was like the craziest one. I didn't even realize this until I left Kennesaw. I used to live in Kennesaw. I didn't realize until I left. Close to before leaving. In Kennesaw, the head of household within city limits has to maintain a firearm. It was a law requiring the head of household to maintain a firearm. So like living in Kennesaw, by law, you had, like myself being the head of household, by law I had to have a firearm. That's awesome, but also wild. Another thing to note, specifically for Georgia, this is already a thing in a lot of other states, but on April 12th, 2022, Governor Brian Kemp signed what is called SB 319 into law, permitting constitutional carry in Georgia. So coming back to constitutional carry, because that's what I came across a few times, so I thought I'd talk about constitutional carry. And the law went into effect immediately. And I'm just in case you missed the start or the middle, depending on why you came into this podcast, remember, constitutional carry is also known as unrestricted or permitless carry. And it means that a permit is not required to carry a concealed firearm. That's all from me today. I will share more of the gun laws which I uncover and learn myself, but remember, I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. This is me documenting my process of learning and sharing with you along the way. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day.